Bron Breakker just returned to Raw after a significant absence, and the first thing he did was spear Seth Rollins into the middle of next week. But this isn't just about one move. This is about a returning star making a statement about who he is and where he belongs in WWE's hierarchy. If you want to understand why this moment matters and what it signals about Bron's future trajectory, you need to subscribe to WWE Express right now. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our latest updates, because we're breaking down one of the most important character statements WWE has made in recent memory. When a performer returns from injury or time away, the way they return matters more than almost anything else. It establishes their positioning. It tells the audience what to expect going forward. And Bron Breakker didn't return to have a conversation with Seth Rollins. He didn't return to shake hands or establish respect. He returned to physically dominate one of WWE's top performers in the most direct way possible. That's a statement of intent. That's saying that Bron is coming back as a threat, not as someone trying to rebuild credibility or work his way back into the main event picture. Seth Rollins is a perfect target for this kind of return because he represents the current hierarchy. Seth is someone who's always been positioned as a top-tier performer, someone who's main event material, someone whose matches carry weight and significance. When you spear Seth Rollins on his return, you're not attacking an undercarder. You're not making a random statement. You're directly challenging someone in the elite tier of WWE's talent. You're saying that you belong in that conversation, and you're willing to prove it through physical dominance. The spear itself is important here. That's not just any move. That's Bron's signature finishing move. That's his calling card. When he returns and immediately uses his most devastating offense, he's not testing the waters. He's not easing back into things. He's declaring that he's back at full capacity, fully himself, and fully dangerous. The spear is violent, impactful, and undeniable. There's no ambiguity when someone gets speared. There's only the clear visual of one performer overwhelming another. From a narrative perspective, this moment creates multiple storylines simultaneously. First, it establishes Bron as someone worthy of main event attention again. After time away, he could have returned in different ways. He could have come back fighting to prove himself or working towards something. Instead, he came back as a force of nature. That's a different positioning entirely. That says WWE believes in Bron. That says they're giving him the kind of credibility that only comes from dominant physical displays. Second, it creates an immediate program with Seth Rollins. Whether Seth responds by seeking retribution or by respecting Bron's physical dominance, there's now a connection between these two performers. They're linked narratively. Whatever happens next between them will matter because Bron made it matter with that single spear. That's efficient storytelling. That's one moment that opens multiple doors. Third, it reminds the entire locker room that Bron Breakker is back and he's dangerous. Anyone watching that moment knows that Bron is someone they need to take seriously. He's someone who can physically handle anyone on the roster. He's someone who doesn't need a slow build back to relevance. He can step into the main event scene and make an impact immediately. That kind of positioning is valuable because it means Bron can be involved in significant angles right away. The psychology of attacking Seth Rollins is also worth exploring. Seth has been a pillar of WWE programming for years. He's had incredible feuds, incredible matches, and incredible character development. When Bron attacks him, there's a generational element to it. This is a newer generation performer making a statement about where he belongs in relation to established veterans. That's the kind of confrontation that creates compelling narrative conflict. It's not just about wrestling ability. It's about respect, positioning, and determining who the real elite performers are going to be moving forward. From a character perspective, Bron Breakker's return with immediate physical aggression suggests that whatever kept him away hasn't softened him or made him doubt himself. He's returning with confidence. He's returning with hunger. He's returning with the physicality and intensity that made people believe in him as a future main event performer. That's exactly the kind of return that keeps momentum alive for someone in his position. Lesser returns might see performers try to rebuild slowly. Bron didn't need that. He came back swinging. The fact that this happened on Raw is also significant. Raw is WWE's flagship program. It's where the biggest moments happen. It's where pushes get established and reinforced. By returning on Raw and attacking Seth Rollins on Raw, Bron's return gets maximum visibility. Everyone sees it. The audience sees it. The locker room sees it. Seth Rollins sees it. There's no ambiguity about whether Bron is serious about being a major player in WWE right now. Now, let's think about what this means for Seth Rollins narratively. Seth is someone who's always in important programs. He's always positioned as someone who matters. But being attacked by a returning rising star adds a layer to his character. Is he someone who respects the younger generation? Is he someone who takes a spear as a challenge and responds with intensity? Does he channel this into his own character development? Seth has proven multiple times that he can turn confrontation into compelling storytelling. His response to Bron's attack will matter as much as the attack itself. The spear as a finishing move is also psychologically interesting here. It's not subtle. It's not technically complex. It's raw physical dominance. It's one person running through another person with overwhelming force. When that's your weapon of choice, it sends a message about how you approach the business. You're not trying to outwit opponents. You're not trying to be clever. You're trying to physically overwhelm them. That's a different kind of threat than other characters present. From a booking perspective, WWE is essentially saying that Bron Breakker doesn't need a slow rebuild. They're confident enough in him that they're putting him directly into confrontation with Seth Rollins. That's the kind of endorsement that matters. That tells the audience that this return matters. That this moment is significant. That Bron is back because he's ready to be in main event programs right now, not eventually. The return itself, without any setup or announcement, is also worth discussing. Bron didn't come back to a big entrance or a big celebration. He came back and immediately got physical. That's a different kind of statement than a triumphant return with crowd support. That's saying this isn't about being welcomed back. This is about asserting dominance. This is about making people remember why you matter in the first place. That's confidence. That's the mark of a performer who doesn't need validation. He just needs the opportunity to show what he can do. When you have a performer like Bron Breakker, who's young, athletic, and physically impressive, and you position him as someone who can immediately challenge the top tier of the company, you're making a statement about the future of WWE. You're saying that the next generation is ready. You're saying that you don't need time and gradual progression. You need moments. You need opportunities. And when those moments come, you make them count. The spear to Seth Rollins accomplished multiple things in one moment. It brought Bron back to relevance. It created an immediate program with a major performer. It reminded everyone why Bron matters. It established his confidence and intensity. And it opened the door for multiple storyline possibilities going forward. That's the mark of a significant moment in wrestling storytelling. It's not just about what happened. It's about everything it makes possible moving forward. This is the kind of return that gets people talking. This is the kind of moment that makes fans wonder what comes next. This is the kind of storytelling that drives viewership because everyone wants to see how Seth responds, what happens next, and whether Bron can maintain this level of relevance and intensity as he progresses through a program with one of WWE's elite performers. If you're interested in character psychology, return storylines, and how WWE positions rising talent in relation to established performers, then you need to be watching WWE Express. We break down the narrative logic behind every major angle. We explain why certain moments matter and what they mean for the future of WWE storytelling. Subscribe to WWE Express right now so you never miss our analysis of character development, storyline progression, and the psychology behind WWE's biggest pushes. Hit that subscribe button. Check out our other videos on wrestling psychology, storyline analysis, and character arcs that define generations of performers. WWE Express is where wrestling analysis goes deep. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on WWE Express.